some sounds on this 1965 Fender Duo Sonic II. I absolutely love the finish checking on this body, the Dakota Red. I love the combinations you get from this on-off-on switch on the neck and bridge pickup for in-phase, out-of-phase humbucker sounds, single coil sounds. This thing is really, really, really ingenious. A 4-year short-lived model by Fender. After the CBS takeover from 1965 to 1969, these were manufactured and then discontinued in preference of the Mustang. But honestly, these are a pretty rare example of a vintage Fender that should not be overlooked. Amazing stylistic features. I love the shape of the plates. I love the knobs. I love the pick guard. Everything was just so well done on this guitar. So this was manufactured October of 1965. This is the slightly larger 24-inch scale Duo Sonic II. There were 2 options available. It was either the 22.5 3/4 size or this 24-inch scale. And I'll take this guitar off and just give you a closer look, but everything on this guitar is completely all original. Just beautiful example. Double maple neck within the rosewood fingerboard. Vintage style tuners. Actually, in terms of guitars with switches, which I usually don't like because it looks like just way too many options and no one knows what they do anyways, this one is actually pretty straightforward. So for instance, if I have the neck in the on position and the bridge in the middle, which would be off, you get just the neck. You get that really just fat neck tone. If I go ahead and switch to just the bridge pickup, with the neck pickup off, you get that spanky sharp. That bright bridge Fender tone. And now where it gets fun is you can turn both pickups on. This is going to be both pickups on in phase, meaning I have both switches on in the same direction. The phase, you actually get a cool thing going. So now I have the neck pickup on the on position, and I'm going to take the bridge pickup and flip it the other way. These are now out of phase. I feel like when it's out of phase, you get this effect like you're playing the guitar through like a paper cup, like if you were shouting through like a cup or something. It kind of reminds me of like Brian May Queen tone. But that's what the out of phase thing sounds like. Variation with that too, if you just feel how it sounds. That's the out of phase sound compared to the in phase sound. Here's the out of phase again. So I think the out of phase is pretty cool. That's out of phase. Here's in phase one more time. So that's a more traditional kind of humbucker sound. So I have both pickups on. In phase, you get just a fat basically a humbucker. You're forcing these to be a humbucker. Here's out of phase, which I think is so cool. Here's out of phase. Just cracks up over time. This guitar is in incredible shape. I mean, 1965, what is that? How many years? I can't do math.
65, gosh.
45 plus. Wow. We're going to see how long this takes me to figure this out. 5 on 65 is 70, so 35 plus 20, 55-year-old. This is a 55-year-old guitar. I got it. Another interesting thing about this guitar is CBS acquired Fender in 1965, and this was one of the first models that they made post CBS takeover. And so like the Mustang would be the better known version. This is actually a student model, and so it was offered in smaller sizes. I've demoed a Music Master on my channel before, which is an awesome guitar, but that's 3/4 scale, so it's really small. And the really nice thing about the Duo Sonic II is they offered it in 2 scale lengths. So if you look at the neck, it had the Music Master size, which was 3/4 scale, but this one is actually the upgrade option. It's a 24-inch scale. It means you get a slightly longer neck, so it's not as small. It's the same size as like a Jaguar or some of the other models, probably the Mustang too. It might even be a little bigger than the Mustang, but it's 24-inch compared to like a Strat, which would be 25.5. And an interesting thing, my common sense told me that on a smaller guitar you should use skinnier strings, and it's actually the opposite. The smaller the guitar is, the thicker gauge strings you need, which I think is totally against my... If you have a normal scale electric guitar tuned to standard, and then you put a capo on fret 1, and you attempted to tune that guitar to standard, what would you have to do if it was capo 1? You'd have to detune the strings, and what would happen, there'd be more slack on the strings. So, long story short, you actually need thicker strings. These are designed probably for 11, 12 gauge strings, just like a Jaguar and a Jazzmaster. And that will be the most boring part of this video for what we for what we use of that long explanation. This matching year 1965 Vibro Champ amplifier. So, and then you have just real simple controls. You got volume, which these champs, they're small, so you can basically crank them up to 10 and it's not going to overpower everything, but it's going to break up and sound like just a beast. And then you got a treble and bass, which give you a lot of range in terms of sounds. And then a vibrato, or a vibro, so you got speed and intensity. And rolling! Alright, so we're going to crank this little champ all the way up to 10 on the volume. I'm going to crank the speed and intensity all the way up on the vibrato, and we'll just see what that starts to sound like. Just the neck pickup, which I always love the neck pickup on these old Fenders. Let's see what that sounds. Tone back up. There's just the bridge pickup with the tone all the way down. As we're about to wrap for today, if you like this video, please do subscribe to this channel. Every piece of gear that we feature on Play and Trade Guitars will be sold. Follow us on Instagram at Play and Trade. Check out our Reverb store if you're interested in this guitar. And if you're watching this after the fact, don't worry. Subscribe to this channel and keep watching because plenty of new gear will be coming on board. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, I'm John, Play and Trade Guitars. Thanks so much for being here. Now let's dance.
What's happening?
What's happening?
Always rolling. Never know when you're gonna get that good content, baby.
Should I wear my sunglasses in the house?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Oh yeah? So we're doing today? Love it.
Because that's Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's his first.
Really?
That's him playing on it.
You gotta add that in the video. No one knows that.
Yeah, that was his big break. What was his big one? Texas Flood, which was like his breakthrough album for Double Trouble. He did that album, recorded it, and then he recorded it in 3 days. The master sat in some dude's garage for like 6 months. because he had gotten picked up by David Bowie, and Double Trouble thought they were done. He was going to go on a world tour with David Bowie as his guitar player.
Huh.
The day before the tour, Stevie Ray Vaughan quit, and was like, I can't do that, I gotta go back to Double Trouble. And they put out Texas Flood, and the rest was history.
Man, good call. Wild.